Atalanta 1.65, draw 4.5, and Dinamo Zagreb 5.8. On paper, looks like a home win.
Only on paper, Dinamo Zagreb are a tough side to play against. Most of all, when you're Atalanta and you are playing your first season in the history in Champions League, and you could see what happened to them in the first 4 matches. They were very lucky last round to draw against Manchester City 1-1, because Manchester City are already, let's say, already qualified. Not mathematically, but we know that they are going to qualify. They have 5 points clear at the top of the table there. Atalanta just 3 goals in Champions League. Normally, Atalanta are scoring a lot. Dinamo Zagreb have the chance to qualify in the knockout stages. They are there head-to-head with Shakhtar. And given the fact that Shakhtar are going to play Man City on the road there, Dinamo Zagreb with Dani Olmo there are going all in this Atalanta game. Atalanta bit unlucky last weekend against Juventus. They were by far the better side. They could easily go 2-0 at halftime, and they lost that game. We predicted it was Juventus draw no bet, one of the bankers of the week in Serie A. It came in. Again, 30 units of profit in Serie A. For who doesn't believe us, check all the records from the start till now. Also, Chef Michael is doing an amazing job. Their Inter again won, and his banker came in. So yeah, Atalanta, Dinamo Zagreb. Also Atalanta, if you see it a little bit mathematically, they have the chance to qualify. They are 4 points behind Zagreb and Shakhtar. They need to win 2 games, but they also need Manchester City not to lose their direct games with Shakhtar and Dinamo Zagreb, respectively. So I'm going for the Alex Classic in this one. I think that both sides will enter this match determined to win. Very good attacking teams. Alex Classic, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.95.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game, Atlanta-Juve, one of about 25 different sporting events I watched over the weekend. Not many of them actually came my way or finished my way. But I thought Atlanta would have by miles the better side for 70 minutes. They played on the front foot and should have taken their chances. So Alex Classic there at Atlanta versus Dinamo Zagreb at 1.95. Martin, this is a tough game. Juve 2.1, the draw 3.3, and Atletico Madrid 4.1.
Very tough game. Atletico Madrid rarely lose. However, I feel like they've had problems defensively of late, and it's down to injuries. First choice centre-backs Jose Jimenez and Stefan Savic have been injured, and they're just not keeping clean sheets, which is very unlike Atletico Madrid. Conceded in each of their last 5 games, and they lost 2-1 to a not particularly great Bayer Leverkusen side in their last away Champions League game. Juventus are starting to be on a bit of a roll right now. They don't often steamroll teams, but they're looking good going forwards. Players like Ronaldo are going to come into their own in the Champions League. They've got a lot of firepower in attack, and I think we're looking at a home win here. 2.15 on Juventus for me.
Okay, Juve, yeah, anything above 2 is normally looking a gift horse in the mouth, or it could well be a trap. This is a game that's definitely not a trap. Mourinho's first game in charge in the Champions League with Spurs. Spurs 1.33, draw 6.1, and Olympiacos at 12. Alex, 1.33, Spurs and over 1.5 for me, going in a parlay. I can't hear Alex. Go on, Alex.
Sorry. So, yeah, 1.33 for a home win. Absolutely an Acca bet there, how Natalie loves to say. Mourinho back in Premier League. And, well, I think that this Spurs team looked great in the first 60 minutes of the game against the West Ham. They scored goals, they scored 3 goals, but after that, after the 65th minute, they started to go down a little bit. They couldn't handle the same level of football like in the first 60 minutes. And I think that Mourinho will work on that because he needs them 90 minutes to be at the top of their shape. So here it's easy. Tottenham should easily win this match against an Olympiacos side who are very, very bad on the road. No chance for Olympiacos. Maybe a little chance to finish third and to qualify in the Europa League knockout stages. But 10 games conceded so far, no wins. Tottenham should pass them at home in front of their fans, with the first Champions League match for Mourinho in charge for Tottenham. So I have two bets, both of them with 1 unit. A minus 1.5 on the Asian handicap at 1.8 on Tottenham, but also Tottenham halftime, full-time at 1.83. I'm sure that Tottenham will try to solve the qualification issue from this match and not to stay in the last match with with stress, because you know that they might choke in the last match. So they will get the job done here with a very poor Olympiacos side on the road at least.
Okay. Martin, we've got half-time, full-time at 1.83 and minus 1.5 on the Asian handicap at 1.8. Do either of them mirror your thoughts?
The first one certainly does. Yeah, I wrote an article about this match over at our website Odds Market yesterday, and I hope if that's the way you're feeling, you read it then, because it was 1.95 at the time, which I took yesterday, which I thought looked like a very good set of odds on Spurs half-time, full-time. They since went into 1.83, but I still think that's an attractive set of odds. It's actually edged out a tiny bit. You can get 1.85 now with Coral just in the last 5 minutes. But yeah, I think that is a good bet. They made a blistering start against Olympiacos in Greece earlier this season, went 2-0 up, but then threw it away. That was the sort of performance that cost Mauricio Pochettino his job. But they have been starting games really well. I was very impressed with the way they came flying out of the blocks against West Ham at the weekend. Looked a bit suspect defensively towards the end of the game, but that's the sort of thing that Mourinho is going to have to stamp out. I think once again they'll want to start strong in this game. Very good players going forward. They've got a lot of momentum right now, and Olympiacos are just in dreadful form. So Spurs half-time, full-time for me. Got it at 1.95, but I'll have it at 1.85 as well.
Okay, I'm going to stay with you now. Man City 1.2, the draw 8.2, Shakhtar at 18. Man City just cannot be sloppy in this game.
No, they can't. They face Shakhtar Donetsk quite a lot. They played them last season and beat them comfortably. They played them again earlier this season and beat them 3-0 on the road. I think at the Etihad, you've got to be looking at a pretty comfortable home win here. Sergio Aguero is going to be out. He was injured at the weekend, but he didn't play in their last game against Shakhtar, and Gabriel Jesus was very good in that game. They've got a lot of firepower within their squad, Man City. And Shakhtar, they're not really the sort of team that can sit back and defend and soak up pressure. I think they've got a lot of good Brazilian sort of players that like to get on the ball and show a bit of ambition, which is often a bit of a risky strategy against a team like Man City. I think going forwards, they could just overwhelm the Ukrainian side in this one. So I'm backing them to have another comfortable win. 1.83 I've got on Man City -2 Asian handicap.
Okay, Man City -2 at 1.83 against the poor travelling Shakhtar. Alex, Valencia 3.4, draw 3.8, Chelsea 2.1. This Chelsea side are impressing everyone, and unless you're one of their rivals, they're becoming everyone's favourite second side. But remember, Valencia did give Chelsea a scare at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, that was a little bit unlucky for who watched the match. I think that Chelsea deserved the win in that match. Now on the road, a little bit tougher for Chelsea, but as you said, really impressive. Chelsea I think that it was well deserved, the loss against Manchester City at the weekend. I think that they fight it well, but Manchester City really deserved that 2-1 win. I know that you wanted more for Manchester City to win with more goals, but Chelsea impressed me in that match against City. Valencia with some injury issues there. Kondobia, one of their best midfielders, is injured. Piccini also. Cheryshev, Guedes, Gonzalo Guedes, Diakabi and Coquelin also questionable with calf injuries, ankle injuries. This is why I did also a La Liga accumulator bet, and Valencia decided to concede the goal in the 93rd minute because that was the only goal that took me out of that La Liga accumulator bet. I hope that they will concede more than 2 goals and not only in the 93rd minute. And if you see a little bit the standings here, Ajax, Chelsea, Valencia, all 3 with 7 points. This is an important game because who wins this one, I think that will qualify further. I'm sure that Ajax will win against Lille. So the question is Valencia or Chelsea. And I'm going with Chelsea to win on the road at 2.14.
Okay. And I never ever want you, or I never want to hear you moan about late last-minute goals, because they are your friend week in, week out. Nobody ever in the history of the world has enjoyed more last-minute goals than you.
Yeah, but sometimes, like in 10% of the situations are coming also against, because it's normal.
I don't think you have 10% against you. Maybe 5. Maybe 5. Okay, let's crack on. Lille at 4, draw 4.1, and Ajax 1.9, Martin.
Oh, Ajax at 1.9 looks like a great price to me, Flash. That is a very generous set of odds. Even if they are playing on the road, they annihilated Lille at home 3-0. It was a very comprehensive victory. Lille are in poor form. Lost 3 of their last 4 games. Drew at home to Metz, which was a very unimpressive result. The only decent result they've had in this qualification campaign was against Valencia when they drew at home, and that was after Valencia had a man sent off. I just think Ajax should be far too good for Lille, who sold a lot of their best players in the summer and didn't replace them. 1.91 just looks like a great price on the away win for me. So I'm not going to complicate it. I'm just going to go for an Ajax win.
No, totally agree with you. Are you going to make it a full house, Alex?
Yes, absolutely. A little bit concerned about Daley Blind because he was red carded last match, and also David Neres, one of the most brilliant strikers in this Ajax team, the 22 years old who is scoring goals for fun and who impressed last year in Champions League. He is injured and he will miss this game. But I think that Lille in the French Ligue 1, they are dreadful and mostly now coming in Champions League with no chances to qualify further. They are 6 points behind the rest of the 3 teams. So only 1 point they managed to earn so far in 4 matches. I don't think that they have the power to pull off the upset here. And 1.9, brilliant odds for Ajax on the road. Let's say that Ajax very, very unlucky not to beat Chelsea on the road in the last match. 2 very bad decisions from the referee, decisions with the Daley Blind and Veltman red carded in 2 consecutive minutes, 68 and 69, consulted the VAR and all that. But come on, it was so easy. Those type of decisions from the VAR, like what happened with Sterling, it should have been 3-1. For Manchester City, right? And it was, I don't know, 2 millimeters, the difference between the VAR and the reality, and the VAR decided to not to give that goal. Come on, this is, like you said when we started the show, you said something really clever about the VAR.
Yeah, basically, I would like to see VAR gone, and we'll just take the luck when it goes our way. And obviously, if we're unlucky, we've got something to moan about. But that's what football's all about. Listen, let's go back to having human error, and then it just gives us debates, gives us talking points, and it's the game that we love. So for me, VAR can just do one. Okay, move on. Slavia Prague, 3.35. Draw, 3.5. Inter Milan at 2.35. Now, Slavia Prague, Martin, have already had a piece of Inter in this competition on the opening day.
They have indeed. Yeah, I think that busted a lot of accumulators on the opening day. Everyone expected Inter just to roll over Slavia Prague, and it would be a three-horse race between them, Dortmund and Barcelona for the group. Didn't quite work out as planned. But I have to say, Inter are better on the road than they are at the San Siro. I think they've only scored 11 goals in 6 games in the league this season at home, but they've got about 3 per game on the road. I think they just show a bit more ambition under Conte when they don't have to be the dominant team. They're pretty good at hitting teams on the break. Haven't got too many injury problems. I think going forward, Lukaku and Martinez should be on song in this game. I can't see them losing it. I'm a little bit worried there might be a draw. So I'm just going to go for Inter Milan, draw no bet. Not the highest price at 1.63, but I think it looks like a safe option, and I still think Inter can get the job done there. Just a little bit worried that Slavia Prague nick a point here and there off a few teams. But yeah, I think Inter will go there and get a result.
Okay, Alex, Slavia Prague and Inter?
Yeah, I think that Slavia Prague are the best underdog in Champions League group stages so far. From all the matches I've seen with them till now, against Barcelona, the goalless draw, they could have easily win that match on the road at Camp Nou there. They lost again with Barcelona 2-1, but it was an impressive display from them. Very unlucky not to win with Inter, as you guys mentioned. Inter scoring a goal in the last minutes of the game. The only team that, let's say, won with more easiness with Slavia Prague was Dortmund 2-0 on the road. But I think that Slavia will go to play their chance here. They will give everything like what happened in the last matches. Inter, like Martin said, absolutely amazing under Conte. Lautaro Martinez is an animal. I think that is his last season with Inter Milan. I think that the giant teams like Barcelona, like, I don't know, other kind of teams, maybe also from the Premier League, will take him at the end of this season. Absolutely brilliant player. And with Lukaku doing his job there, because he's basically doing his job. He's keeping free players in the with him, you know, and he's making spaces. This is what Lukaku is good for. I'm seeing over 2.5 goals. I'm going against the bookies a little bit here. 1.95. Under is 1.8. The over is 1.95. I think that Slavia Praga will score. Or if you like it a safer way, let's say, both team to score at 1.75. But no, I will stick with the over 2.5 goals at 1.95.
Okay, there seems to be 3 or 4 good selections there from both the lads. Finally, champions. Liverpool 1.54, the draw 5, and Napoli at 8. Martin, are Napoli overpriced at 8?
I'm not sure they are, simply because of the crisis that Napoli have been plunged into. After that draw against Salzburg in their last game, the chairman insisted they go on a training retreat. They refused. He's saying he's going to dock 25% of their wages. He's freezing their salaries. He's looking to sell all of his star players. I mean, it's turned into a real war of words there, and I just don't think they're playing for the club right now. Yes, they've got a few draws recently, but it's a long time since they won a game, and I think they're low on confidence. They were in the same group as Liverpool last season, and they beat them in Naples, but then Liverpool got the better of them at Anfield, went on to win the Champions League. So I think Liverpool can beat them again at Anfield. We've seen them turn over, Barcelona Man City. They can beat Napoli at home, I think, particularly when you consider the problems that Napoli are having. Particularly players like Koulibaly just don't look like they want to play there anymore. Whereas Liverpool, oozing confidence, not playing great, but they're grinding out wins. So I think they'll get a sort of a narrow, low-scoring victory in this one. Liverpool and the under 4.5 goals is a classic bet, and that's 1.88.
Yeah, this is another game that I watched at the weekend, was Milan versus Napoli. Thought Napoli were playing at about 75%. I thought that the normal side, the normal team, they go for goals, they go forward in numbers, but they look disjointed to me. Yeah, I think Liverpool win. And at 1.54, I think you can stick it in an accumulator as well. Just quickly, gentlemen.
You know why? Because they have huge problems, the players with the president, Aurelio De Laurentiis.
What, is there an echo in here? Did you not listen
sorry?
to what... Could you hear what Martin said?
Yeah, but this is why I know what Martin said, but this is the most important thing why you said because they played for 75 minutes, for 75% of their performance, you know. Yeah.
Would you go with Liverpool as well, Alex?
Yeah, I think that Napoli has huge internal problems right now, so I think that Liverpool in an Acca bet should be a great bet.
Okay, would you give me your banker for the Champions League, please, Alex?
Yeah, Tottenham half-time, full-time 1.83.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm going to have some of that, so if it gets beat, it's my fault, because I am unlucky Alf at the moment. Martin, give me your banker to Hex as well, please.
Yeah, I would have to go with that one as well, actually. Yeah, that and Liverpool in the under 4.5 goals. They were my top tips on odds market, so I'll stick with them.
Okay, excellente, gentlemen.
Please, Flash, don't play them. Please, because we have both bankers on that. Please don't play them.
Well, at the moment, and I'll just say this, I'm going with Spurs half-time, full-time. I'm going to go with Chelsea and Ajax in a parlay, and I might go into Ajax, Chelsea in a treble.